John Lusky of Lusk Archery Adventures. Series testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing another head by Ozcut. And man, I've gotten a lot of requests to test this. I've tested all the other heads by Ozcut, I think, over the years. But this is their new one called the Kreature with a K. Pretty wicked looking thing, really unique looking. And man, I'm eager to put it to the test. And I'm going to be using my regimen for 2025. So for a detailed description of that, please check out the video I posted earlier this year called 2025 Broadhead Test Process. And it'll walk you through it and you'll understand why I do what I do and how I do what I do and so forth. For most of the shooting, I'm going to be using my Elite Carbon Eon, brand new bow that I'm loving. For the flight testing, I'm using my Killer Instinct LogiX, their brand new line of crossbow. And I'm really liking that as well. For all the shooting, I'm using Bishop Archery, arrows, and bolts. All right, let's zoom on in here, check out this Kreature, and then put it to the test. Here's a good look at the 100 grain Kreature by Ozcut. This is a really creative looking design, crazy looking design. I've gotten so many requests to test this head, and finally I'm getting around to it. First of all, the materials, it's all steel. So it's all made out of stainless steel. The ferrule, the blades, the leading blade, everything like that is all stainless steel. The diameter, okay, of this main blade, the diameter is 3/4 of an inch, 0.75 inches, and in the closed position, it's 3/4 of an inch as well. So in the closed position, you're just getting 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch. But in the open position, and upon impact, these blades open like that, and you're getting 1 3/4 inches of cut this way. So 1 3/4 by 3/4, so you get a total cut of 2.5 inches in the open position. Like a lot of hybrid heads, it's a front deploying, right? So the initial cut is going to be like that, 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch, but then as it penetrates, it's going to open it up to a much bigger cut. And you notice that the blades flare back just to aid in penetration, but it is interesting that they have this straight portion as well. That's not going to be as good for penetration, but you know, there's a lot of other heads that do that and do it quite well, like Vortex heads, and they found that it really actually does work. So really kind of creative that they've done it that way. I'm eager to see how well it does penetrate and how durable that is. And then in terms of thickness, this leading blade is 0.039 inches thick, and the bladers are 0.042 inches thick. And one thing I want to note too is that, I wanted to say there's no O-ring or any clips or anything like that you have to replace. But when you take it apart, this whole thing they call their Kreature collar, okay, their collar just comes off. And so it's really easy to replace these. You don't have to mess around with kind of inserting the blade and making sure it all lines up. This whole collar just is the blade mechanism, and then it's just held in place by friction until it impacts. So really cool design there, and I'm really eager to test it. For resharpening, I would use a Stay Sharp guide called The Answer. That's their new guide that kind of is like the catch-all that can be used in a lot of different unique designs and so forth. But the Answer will work really well at resharpening this. Oh, and I do want to note the overall length beyond the end of the arrow is just 1 inch. So it's got a really nice compact design that I would imagine would aid in flight. And then the price comes out to $16, just over $16, $16.67 I think it is, per Broadhead, which is really a pretty good price. And you can use my discount code LUSK10, LUSK10, to save 10% on top of that. Really eager to put this Kreature to the test and see how it performs. The Kreature crushed the bullseye. It took 298 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 9.02 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated 8.5 inches, and you can see the blades were fully deployed by the time they reached the gel. The initial entrance hole was just the size of the head in the closed position. It took an additional 15 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 9.7 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 51 layers, which is a 7.29 on a 10-point scale. The head's in excellent shape after the 3 shots through the MDF. And here it is after the 2 shots through the steel plate. The head is in almost perfect condition. I had to dock it just a little bit for the slightest bit of edge chatter on the blades there. And then you can see the holes, which is basically just the holes of the head in the closed position. But they're still a decent hole nonetheless. Here it is after all the durability testing, and man, I thought it was going to fall apart from the very beginning, but then it held up through the MDF. I was really surprised through the steel plate, and I was really surprised. It still looked almost new, and then into the cinder block, but man, it all held together structurally. Even these blades cutting into the cinder block, and then here they are still in place, and just that bend, that hook to it. But man, other than that, just very good durability. So what'd you think? Hey, I gotta tell you, it surprised me, okay? I didn't think it was going to hold together well. I wasn't sure if it was going to fly well, though it is pretty compact. I had a lot of doubts about this thing, but it way exceeded my expectations and ended up getting a really good score. So I just was impressed with it. I'd have a bit of concern about an angled shot and how these big protruding blades would do in an angled shot, but I just don't take that many extreme angled shots anyway because I don't want to do that. So but it's just something to note. But man, yeah, you check out the score sheet and see how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most. See if this Kreature might be a good fit for you and your hunting needs. And stay tuned for the overall cumulative score, which it got a really good one, and the corresponding LogiX grade. And also stay tuned for a list of all the discount codes that I can offer, including Ozcut. LogiX 10, LogiX 10 saves 10% on any Ozcut Broadhead, and that'll just help you save some bucks. Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next time.